Alright, so what we're going to do is further refine the shape. So with my move tool, I'm just going to push this jaw down, something like this. And then make sure, and again, as you're moving back and forth, front and side, top, you'll start to have to continuously rework the shape, right? So let's push this in. It looks good. Let's see, this juts out a little bit. Really get close, right? Like, really look into this and say, okay, well, am I really hitting all these points? Right? Look at that nose. I somehow screwed up that nose too as I was sculpting. That brow needs to be further out, right? You know, this needs to come around more. It needs to be a little bit more round. This definitely needs to be, it's at the right area, but we want to make sure that this is pushed back, right? This is smoothed. There we go. This is pulled out a little bit more. Let's bring our reference back. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demo one more time the teeth on this side. So I'm going to pause it after I duplicate this tooth again. So that's this tooth here. I'm going to rotate a little bit more and I'll bring my reference up. And I'm just going to duplicate it. So here, let's go ahead and go back, hit Q. I'm going to duplicate it again. Then hit W. I'm going to move it out. Rotate my view, right? Rotate it again. I'm just kind of pushing it into place. Hit Q, and with my smooth and move tool, it's going to shape this tooth out a little bit better. Something like this. Let's jut these guys a little closer together here. Alright, let's hide our reference, take a look. It's not bad. Alright, I'm going to pause it and then I'm just going to make the whole right side of the mouth up here. One thing I wanted to show, like as I'm working, is notice I hit duplicate when I'm moving it, and it lets me duplicate as I go. And I'm also using my scale manipulator to actually model as well, right? So you can also do that. All right, so now that I have that whole side of the mouth finished, right? Let's hide this for a second. Double check it, make sure that the gap is okay, things like that. And as we look at this, you know, you can see that they line up. They need to come a little bit more out in the back, right? So these teeth here need to come way out. So I just alt click on each one, right? So let's move this one out. And then alt click on the next one here. Move that one out. And this is a great way of sizing up where your jaw is, right? You're like, oh, do I need to add more meat on the, you know, meat being relative to more clay or more digital clay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hit Q, and I'm going to go ahead and merge all of these, because remember in the last video I merged that one. I'm not going to merge these top two teeth, I'm just going to merge down. So I'm going to go ahead and hit merge down, and it's always okay, right? And then merge down. You got to be careful, because if it switches back up here, right? So let's make sure that we I actually merged the jaw, so that was crazy. Alright, so let's see what happens now that I undid it. Did it totally screw up my model? Let's go to solo mode. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Expose, solo mode. Alright, so I actually lost my jaw by doing that, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to save it anyway, and I'll just remake it. It'll take me 2 seconds. But let me finish doing these teeth here. So I'm going to go to Z plugin, Subtool Master, And under Subtool Master, you'll see I have that mirror tool that we used before. So mirror, and then I'm gonna hit OK. And you can see here now I have all of the teeth. Now, if I hit Shift P, you'll notice they're all not in the right spot, but they're all merged together, right? So let's go ahead and merge this down even. So we're like, is all lost if our... So what's interesting is if you hit Control and Shift and then you click off, notice that you can isolate each tooth as you go. And I'm also in symmetry mode. So watch this. If I hit Control Shift and I click on this and I hit W, right? I'm moving these teeth. So, and it's inverted. So you can go the other way on the axis, right? I'm gonna hit Control and Shift and click off. So that's another way of adjusting, right? I'm like, we can also click and then independently scale those. Watch. So let's go up here so you guys can see that, right? So I'm hitting Control and Shift here, and you can click on the different aspects, the various angles, right? So I'm holding Control and Shift as I click to move it on its current pivot, right? And then if I hit just normal Q and I hit Control and Shift, I can isolate them. See that? I can hide individual ones, right? So you select a tooth by hitting Alt, or I'm sorry, Control and Shift. Let's unmask those. Control and Shift. Now I hit W. Notice that it moves independently, right? But if I hold Control and Shift before I hit W, it does not. Hopefully that makes sense. So practice that or go back and rewatch that section.